afternoon. Welcome to EduSet Network. Friend, as you know, we are discussing nowadays career guidance, and today our topic of discussion is career in advertising and public relation. And for discussion on this very topic, we have in a studio Mr. Rohan Ubriani. He is in the profession of advertising and brand management, and he also teaches brand management in various management school in New Delhi. So on your behalf, I welcome Mr. Rohan Ubriani for the lecture on this very topic. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Kumar. Good afternoon, students. My name is Rohan Ubriani, as I have been introduced just now. Today we will cover the topic of career counseling with a special focus on advertising and the career options in advertising and public relations. Let's begin with the introduction part, where we have see, as we understand that in the olden times we always had limited opportunities of career options. Say if I were to go back, say 5 or 10 years or probably 15 years back, the only career options available were, say, engineering, medicine, like if you want to become a doctor, or if you are into commerce stream, you could go into a chartered accountancy or cost accountancy. And if you are from the art stream, one could look at appearing for, say, IAS exams, prelims, or say or whatever, that IAS and your other UPSC exams. But today we are living in extremely exciting times where we have merit and exotic career options. What I mean by that is that apart from regular routine career options, we have such exciting options where one could look at, say that I don't want to become a doctor engineer as anybody else would, but I would like to be, say, a radio jockey, or I would rather be an advertising professional, would rather look at doing something in, say, performing arts or non-performing arts. Say, for example, somebody wants to be a painter or a sculptor or whatever. Today we have so many career options that while it liberates a person to move away from routine and mundane career options, it also creates a lot of confusion in the minds of the people that what to do when you have such a huge, career choice. Now, apart from this problem of choosing that how does one go about, knowing that what one is good at, you also have the facilities also, professional education facilities to acquire requisite expertise. Today, we have not only government owned, say government aided or government owned educational institutes where you are provided general education or technical education, whether it's medicine or engineering. You also have a lot of institutes which have come up, say in a private enterprise environment where you could learn anything which is different from these kind of professions. Now, they have earlier, say again, if I have to talk about 5, 10, 15 years back, you had very limited opportunities also in terms of your choice of institute which is offering your kind of course is not located in a very, say, convenient location near to your residence or wherever you live. But today, almost every city, big or small, has huge number of educational institutes offering very different kinds of career options, and they have the education facility in each one of those institutes, and you again have a lot of choice among whether to go for this or go for somebody else. Now, in addition to this, you have financial support also available in terms of education loans from various banks and financial institutions, that even if you can't afford to pay for education, which is now becoming more and more expensive, especially in a very, very technically expertise environment, you can avail loans from the banks, and there the facility is that you could start paying your EMI only after you complete the course and you start your job, and from your first salary you start paying your EMIs. Now, not only these, in today's time, not only these institutes, whether it's government owned or private owned, they provide huge job opportunities. They are also encourage entrepreneurship in terms of a lot of banks coming forward, a lot of institutions coming forward, and providing funding for your venture if you want to start your own venture immediately after acquiring your technical expertise. So therefore, we come to this question, how do we choose a career? This brings me to a very famous quote which I came across many years back, which says a very nice thing. It says, do what you love and love what you do, then you don't have to work for a single day in your life. Now, see, this is what people today are actually going for. In the olden times, we didn't have much choice. Again, I keep talking about the olden times. We didn't have much choice either to become a doctor, engineer, or CA, or whatever. Today, if you have any activity, say you like acting, or you like painting, or you like, doing sculpting, whatever is your hobby, you can convert that into an extremely rewarding profession. For this, you need to search your heart, mind, and soul. What does it mean? It means searching heart. Searching heart, what it means is you have to be frank with yourself about what makes you happiest doing it, the work that you are happiest doing it, and turning that activity into an exciting and rewarding profession. And it also means, in terms of searching heart, it also means not being awed by someone in your environment who's hugely successful in his or her career. A lot of us, get influenced by, if you see someone in our environment, our cousins or brothers, sister, friends, neighbors, or whatever, that somebody is doing very well, somebody is doing pilot, or somebody is into, becoming air hostess, whatever. You find it very exciting and very, challenging at the same time. It pushes you to do the same thing. But then it is not that you don't have to be awed by someone that if he is successful, I should also do the same thing, therefore I will also be as successful and happy. No. But you need to be influenced by him or her in terms of how he or she did it. And the last part of searching heart is you must have a long-term goal in life by thinking what you would like to be, say 10 or 15 years from now. Now we come to searching mind. Now this is different from searching heart. That is something to do with your feelings, and this is something to do with doing actual serious mental work. Now again, you need to be frank with yourself about, do you have what it takes? You may like to be a film star, like almost everyone in the whole world likes to be a famous film star, but do we have what it takes? Why only a few of them go on to become successful film stars, or say for that matter actors in any other environment, or the people who are celebrities in their own professions? Not a lot of people desire to be like that, but then some, only very few, end up making it because they have what it takes. That is, whether doing a particular activity comes naturally to you, which you enjoy doing it, and do not feel tired doing it, even if you have to do it for a very long period of time. For example, the people who are into sports, into films, performing or non-performing artists, these guys, they practice their art for hours and hours at end. Sometimes 16, 18, 20 hours a day, sleeping for just 4 or 5 hours every day. Now, everybody talks about making it big in life, but this part is extremely essential to know. If you want to make it big, you can. Anybody can make it big in life, but you must have what it takes, what it requires. You must be able to give it all. This is what the second point is. Having confidence to excel in that field, and have the will to give it all. Give it your all to achieve your goal. A goal which you have already defined, that where you want to be, and then giving it all, not letting anything come in the way. And now we come to the last part of the searching mind, that you also need to have an ability to develop a strategic plan. Now, one can't just wake up in the morning and say, hey, this is what I want to be, and now I will work on this, and next day again you go back to sleep and say, okay, we'll do it next day or whatever. No, you have to have a proper strategic plan and organize the requisite resources. What I mean by organizing requisite resources is what it requires in terms of, say, your time, money, energy, expertise. Say, if you were to find some guide or some trainer, some teacher to actually help you develop those skills to reach your goal, you have to be serious about acquiring those resources. And how you're going to do it, it has to be a part of the plan, that how you're going to do it and where all the resources in terms of accessing those skills will come from, and resources to execute the plan. And one more thing, a steely resolve. What is steely resolve? Steely resolve is something which is as strong as a steel, or resolve as strong as steel, to not to allow anything come in the way to perform the necessary task. tirelessly. You don't have to worry about getting tired. You have to perform every necessary task to achieve that goal and not letting your attention divert to any other activity till you have achieved that goal. Now this is about searching your heart and mind. Now this another part of it which I've already covered in the opening slide, that it also means searching your soul. Now this is something which is usually missing, but I have deliberately put into this presentation to share with you what I mean by this part as well. Searching soul. It's all about balances in life. I'm not sure how many of us actually worry about this, but I guess today's generation needs to worry about it, as some of us did when we started our career. It's about asking and answering candidly the following questions. Number one, what is more important, money or enjoying work? Some of us are fortunate enough to have both in equal measure. Second question, does my work contribute to the society in some way, or it just fulfills my own needs? A lot of people actually worry about what they earn and then go on spending on themselves, saving for themselves, or saving for their family, saving for their old age, planning their entire life, and not paying much attention to how their work is actually contributing to the society. It may be contributing in an indirect manner, but is it intentional, or is it just happening just because one is working? And the third question is most important from my point of view, which I have learned in last 20 years of my profession. This is very close to my heart. This question says, does this profession makes me look at myself in the mirror at the end of every day and say, hey, I'm proud of you? How many of us actually feel proud of doing what they do? I mean, do we work only for money? A lot of people I meet routinely, which they share with me that they don't like the work, they dislike the work, they don't like the environment, they don't like the work, the people around them. They have a lot of complaints about what they do, and they don't feel any, there is no pride in doing what they do. Then why does one do that? There has to be a pride in whatever you do, otherwise everybody is working and everybody is earning something or the other. So in sum, I would put all those things which I have already explained just now in technical terms, which means that you have to begin with what your desires and dreams are, and followed by, do you have the aptitude, which includes your natural inclination and natural ability to do that particular work, and must have an ambition which includes what level of excellence that you desire, and will to do anything and everything to achieve your goal. Also, we must have flexibility, which includes patience if results are coming slower than expected, and course correction if it is a need of the hour. And last but most important, once again, it's perseverance, the most important element for success in life. You have to be at it till the time you achieve it. You may have planned to achieve your goal in say 5 years time or 6 years time. If it's taking 1 or 2 years extra, or say if it's taking few months extra, not giving up. That is what perseverance is all about. Not giving up till the time you achieve your goal. Now we come to the second part of our presentation today, which is basically career options in advertising and public relations. Now there are 4 spheres of advertising, which means that there are 4 arms, 4 people, or say 4 areas of advertising. One is the organizations and the clients who are, I would put it this way, needers and spenders, because they are the ones who need the advertising for their business or for their activity, and they also end up spending the money on advertising, whether it's on newspaper, or whether in newspapers or TV or any other medium. And then you have ad agencies which create the ads and they execute the ads also. And media, which includes primarily print and electronic. Print includes newspaper, magazines and all. Electronic, TV, radio, your internet, they carry the ads which advertising agencies have created for the clients. And lastly, but the most importantly, the consumers, who are the target audience for receiving those communication messages coming through advertising agencies and carried by media. Now, careers in there are two parts of careers in advertising. One is careers in ad agency, and the second is careers on the client side. Now, first we'll cover what the careers are in ad agency. As a marketing specialist, if you have marketing qualification, or if you have worked in marketing department, or say if you have marketing inclination, as a bent of your mind, you can join an ad agency as a client services executive or a brand services executive. These are the two different kind of terms used interchangeably by different agencies. You could also consider to join as a copywriter if you are highly creative and have a flair for writing in English and or in Hindi or any other language. And if you are good with numbers, you could work there as a media planning or media operations executive. All three streams require you to be highly innovative, out of the box thinker, plus a good command over English is absolutely essential to work for an ad agency. Now, this is the other part of the careers in advertising, where you could work for the client, the organization, which requires the advertising and spend money on that also. You could join the client side as an advertising executive, with whom ad agency personnel interact, because he has to give the brief to the ad agency that this is what the ad is required, and accordingly they create the ad and present it to them. You could also look at joining media industry, which includes print, newspaper, periodical. Periodicals means your magazines, whether they're weekly, fortnightly or monthly or quarterly, and electronic, TV, radio, internet. You could join these media agencies, media industries also. BTL is basically below the line promotions, which include your exhibitions, seminars, conferences, the events, and also you have road shows. There you can work in their sales or marketing divisions. Advertising business also requires HR, finance and IT specialists, like any other company would require these people as support professional activities. What are the advantages? Advantages of a career in advertising. Now, it puts you into an environment in brand building from the beginning of your career. You interact with the top management at a very early stage of your career, because advertising attracts a huge amount of money to be spent. Now, when the stakes are high, then you require a senior management to interact with the people, because those decisions are taken at very, very senior level. It is not something which we're talking about 1,000 lakhs, we're talking about crores, and each, like for example, Coke or Pepsi could be spending somewhere in the region of about 700-800 or 1,000 crores a year on their brands. Now, it's a huge amount of money, and which cannot be left to say junior management or middle management for that matter. They're involved in terms of discussions or their views or their opinions, but final decisions are taken by the management at the senior level. So one advantage is that even if you're one of the junior people working for an ad agency, or say working on the client side, you interact on a routine basis with the top management in terms of understanding and gaining from their experience and expertise. It is also one of the fastest career moving environment. You may start your career at say 20, 21, 22 or 23, whatever be your background, and if you are good, especially in an ad agency, and if you prove to be worthy of multiple promotions, you could actually head an agency even before you hit 30. There are a lot of people at the age of 27, 28 in this country who are operating as heads of the India operations of a multinational ad agency. So here the age or your number of years of experience is not the criteria to become a CEO or a president of a company. You just have to prove that you are ready to take on that responsibility or challenge, and then you are put into that seat of a CEO or a president, and you're given that responsibility, and you have the opportunity to meet the challenges and prove that you are worthy of that particular chair that you've been allowed to sit on. Another advantage of career in advertising is it's one of the top compensation industry. Here the salaries rise exponentially as the time goes. You could have say 1, 2 or 3 or 4 increments within 1 year itself, if you are deserving for those increments. One doesn't have to wait for a year or two for your annual increments to come through. You could have 4 of them in a year, but you have to prove that you are deserving, and then it comes your way. The whole industry is very rewarding for the talented people. It is a glamour industry. like films or fashion industries, where you have a very exciting lifestyle. You have the opportunity for creative brainstorming, campaign planning, ad designing, presentations to decision makers in management. And it also has the opportunity for involvement in selection process of models, film stars, famous personalities, as you know, the people who would say appear in your ads, whether it's print ads or TV ads or radio ads. And it also involves a lot of travel to exotic locations for directing or supervising ad films, shootings, and wherever, because it's a part of the work that you have to do. It's not only exciting, but it's also very demanding in terms of your, a lot of hard work goes into that. You have to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to catch a 4 o'clock shot, which probably is not, say present in most professions that one would look at working for. But this is something which this profession doesn't let you look at the clock, whether it's early morning or late nights. You have to work according to the requirement of the script or whatever the work demands you to do that, whether it's day, whether it's night, whether it's weekends, holidays. It doesn't already do that, but at the same time it gives you a lot of excitement of doing, because once you see the final product in the newspaper as your ad or as final ad on the TV, it actually satisfies you a lot and makes you forget all those pains that you have taken to create those ads. Now these are the top global creative agencies: JWT Worldwide, Lolintas, O&M, Draft FCB, Luca. All of them are the agencies which are operating in, say, probably 50 to anywhere between 50 to 100 countries. So there, if you get into one of these ad agencies, I mean, this is just a small list, these are top 8 or 10 agencies, then you also have the opportunities of traveling abroad and knowing how the same agency works in different countries, and then you have the exposure which enhances your expertise level. These are the media agencies. We have already covered media earlier. The media agencies are the ones who carry the ads created by the creative agencies. Group M, Initiative Media, these are all very big agencies, and they also operate in anywhere between 50 to 100 countries throughout the world. Now we come to the second part of this part 2, career options in public relations. There again you have either you work in PR agency or you work on the client side. Now there are broadly 2 types of career options in a PR agency. One is as a PR executive, that you operate, or you operate as a content writer. A PR executive's job is similar to that of client services executive in advertising, where you will be required to service your clients in terms of understanding their needs and organizing the solutions. Now like an ad agency, like an ad executive goes to a client and he meets and he asks, what is your annual requirement. Now the same way the PR guy will also go to the client and ask his counterpart there that what is your requirement in terms of annual. Then it is broken down to your quarterly requirements, then it is broken down to your monthly requirement, and then accordingly the entire plan is made for the whole year, and a particular budget is presented by the agency, whether it's ad agency or PR agency, for the respective work, and those budgets once they are approved, and then everything moves in a planned manner. That okay, this month we are going to do this, and this is the money available for doing this, and this is already estimated, so that there is an idea that how this work will be done and how much will it be paid for, give and take 5-10% here and there. Only difference is that an ad agency ad executive will create ads which are paid form of advertising or say communication, where the agency buys a particular space in newspapers or magazines for the client, or buys time on say TV or radio, and then accordingly they create those ads, and it is the desire of the client and the ability or the creativity of the agency and they put the matter in them as they want to be, as against the PR activity, where the control is not there, because it is a non-paid activity of communication that appears as in PR. When you handle PR for a client, you create a news for the client which you hand it over to the media, and the media, we'll come to that part also later, but they are the ones where the media decides whether that particular news is to be carried or not. Now a PR's job, a PR executive will do exactly the same job as the ad executive would do in terms of taking brief, coming back to them with plan, and budget estimates, and then present strategic executions of how those work will be done over a period of time, say 1 year at a time. And then you have a 5-year plan also. Some agencies which operate extremely professionally, they also present a 5-year plan, that you don't work on a year-to-year basis. You do something this year and say, okay, what are you going to do next year? No. You have a 5-year plan, then you break it down to 1 year, then you break it down to quarterly, as I explained, and then you break it down to monthly works. And this is all is done by a PR executive or say ad executive in their respective domains, and there is a team which is handling their particular client depending upon the size of the client and the requirements of the client. Okay. In addition, you will also need to develop excellent contacts with media. Now, this is something which an ad executive need not do, but a PR executive, it's extremely important that he has excellent relationships with media, whether it's print or electronic, for their execution, especially organizing and managing press conferences. You see, if your client is requiring to say share with the public, whatever information, any new development, or if he has to give some kind of an explanation for say a negative activity, like a long time back you would remember a few years back there was a controversy over pesticides being present in Coke and Pepsi bottles. Now all the PR agencies working for these two companies and their senior managers or their senior executives from their PR agencies, they got into the job of allaying those fears that there are no pesticides, and they did everything under the sun to allay those fears. They went about picking up those bottles from the various plants in the country, and they sent them to Europe for testing into those laboratories, and then they got those certificates from there that they are free from pesticides. And all this information, all this information about what they have done in terms of efforts of allaying those fears, they have to be put into public domain through a press conference where publications, newspapers, magazines, they actually carry those, the statements of the company's senior executives along with the research reports coming from, say, reasonably dependable or say credible agencies, so that this the contact with the public is maintained and they are, assured that the Coke or Pepsi that you drink are free from pesticides and they are healthy drinks and they're not harmful anymore. For that you need to have excellent contacts with the press, because all those people will be required to come and attend your press conference, and you need to manage those conferences very well so that to the maximum extent your client benefits. And as a content writer, a content writer is the one who writes after the brief is taken from a client, okay, this is what he wants to do. A content writer writes that information that a client wants to say that, okay, I want the people to believe that our say soft drinks do not contain any pesticides, and because we operate like this, and then we have these processes through which the water is distilled or whatever. He will give his brief, and the content writer will write that entire story in a news form. So therefore you must have qualifications in journalism to write a particular story in the form of a news which can be carried by either a newspaper or a TV channel, the way it is usually carried in editorial or in other columns of the newspaper or say in a TV channel. Here you need to write about client's organization, their products or services or their events in such a way that media industry finds it worthy of carrying it as a valuable news for their readers or their viewers. And since PR is an unpaid form of communication as opposed to advertising, the decision to carry your PR activity in the media is under the jurisdiction of the editorial department of the concerned media vehicle. Media vehicle is whether it's a newspaper or a magazine or a TV channel or radio that your client wishes for its carriage, that where he wants it to be carried. Now you could also join, now this is the other part of the PR career option, that you can also join on the client side. You can join the client side as a public relations officer, PROs. You must have heard of this term from many sources, that a lot of organizations have their PROs which operate as, say, face of the organization, and they are the ones who are only authorized to speak with media or speak to the public, having the same abilities and duties of a PR executive. In all career options in PR, the knack of diplomacy is supreme. As a good news and a bad news, both need to be handled deftly. so as to bring maximum benefit to the organization you're committed to without being controversial. In fact, you must be innovative to neutralize any controversy surrounding your client or your agency or your client organization and convert it into a great opportunity to showcase the great aspects of your client's organization and maximum benefits arising out of any positive development as well. Most ad agencies, now this is, I could have given a list of leading PR agencies, but then most of them actually have the same name as the ad agencies, because most ad agencies provide PR services either as a division or as a sister concern, since both advertising and PR are invariably required by their clients. However, there are some standalone PR agencies, they also exist. And in order to excel in PR, you must have demonstrable ability for acquiring an entry into the PR profession. Now, demonstrable ability is that in the interview, wherever you go for after your basic qualifications in the PR, you should be able to demonstrate that why you are good for this profession, what kind of natural abilities you have, how you if you're going for a PR executive or PR manager job, you should be able to demonstrate that you have a good knack of getting along with people, making good contacts and growing those contacts for the benefit of the organization that you work for. And if you're going for a content writer post, then you also be able to demonstrate that what you have already written for your clients, or if you're a fresher, then what during your course, whatever course you have done from whichever institute in PR or in journalism, that as a part of few projects that you have done, what you have written, you should be able to demonstrate that you have good writing abilities and you have a bent of mind to convert a normally conveyed or say normally narrated story into a news story which could be found worthy of carrying by the media, whether it's print or electronic. I think with this we come to the end of our lecture today. I hope I have been able to shed some light on the career options, and wish you all the best for your careers in advertising and PR.
Okay, as you said that the career growth depends upon the ability to prove yourself.
Yes.
So is there, suppose some are who believe in going up with not instantly recognized, but slowly they pick up the trick of the trade and then they move. So what kind of suggestion you would like to give to them?
You see,
because the instantly recognition doesn't come.
Okay, see, there are, as you rightly said, there are usually two kinds of people when, there are two kinds of us, I would rather say, because we also, start career at some stage of our lives anyway. Some people, one set of people are the ones who are naturally gifted to identify talent in themselves at a very early stage in life, and then they are very clear that this is what they want to do in life and they pursue that career. Now the second type of people who are not so clear and they are probably confused or say bombarded by so many options available that they don't know whether to do this or that, and sometimes they feel, as I covered as a part of my presentation also, you see someone extremely or hugely successful in an environment, a very good doctor or a very good engineer, very good CA, very good software engineer, or, someone who has done well for himself, even as a pilot also, whatever, making a lot of money, a lot of fame. You get awed by those personalities and you try to become like them, but you may or may not have the talent or aptitude for that. Now, for those people, as they start some career and as they go along, after 1, 2, 3 or 5 years or 6 years or 10 years, at any stage of life, if you feel that you are in the wrong profession and or probably you need to shift to another profession where your real talent or real worth lies, one should take immediate step to move into that area, because if you're not loving your work, as I said, do what you love and love what you do. If you're not doing that, then the moment you identify what you love, you should take immediate steps to move into that area by first identifying at that stage, even after 5 or 10 years, what is required to to be done now to move into that stage. For example, do I require any educational qualification, any technical qualification, any professional qualification, whether it's a 6 months certificate course or a 1-year diploma or a 2-year degree? One must do that. If you can't give up your job to do that, you can, today the options are so many that you can do a part-time job, you can do a part-time, you can learn in the evening, you can learn it over the weekend also, and acquire those qualifications and start making attempts. And in the interview you can explain, fine, I've been doing this for 10 years, but now I find that my heart lies into this profession, so I want to do this and I've already done my qualification. So it will justify that yes, probably you were not on the right track, but now you have made efforts to acquire that qualification, and now you're moving into that. So it will be appreciated by the interviewer, and there is a high chance of succeeding there as well.
Okay, sometimes it has been noticed that a student get confused to choose between PR and ad agencies. They see the good money in ad agency in comparison to the PR, so they go for that. For them, what would suggestion of what the trait they should first notice in themselves and then accordingly take a move?
You see, it's an extremely good question, because this is what I hear from a lot of students where I teach in few management institutes also. See, fortunately or unfortunately, today we live in not only exciting times, but we also live in very stressfully commercial times also, where there's a stress to acquire, to earn a reasonably good amount of money is there because of meeting basic needs or desires or whatever. Now, see, that part I had somehow, to a certain extent, I covered in my Searching Soul slide also, where you have to, the student will have to decide what is more important in his life right now. You know, devoid of any other influence of his, say peers or friends or family or whatever, that what is important to him or her at this stage. Is the money more important, or enjoying work is more important? Now, okay, if I were to give a very small example of when I was going for my MBA, I cleared my MBA entrance exam and I was going for it, and I was a management trainee in ITC in Delhi. So I asked my general manager when I was quitting that position and going, so he's like, what stream should I go for, marketing or finance? So he said that, if you want a lot of fun in life, go for marketing. Now that is what I always wanted to. He said that the money is good, but not as good, but there is a lot of enjoyment, a lot of fun in there also. And then as I picked up marketing in MBA, one of my teachers came along and he said advertising is very exciting. So I went into it. He explained the whole thing, that what advertising is all about, and I got excited and I went to that and I enjoyed thoroughly. PR also has almost, it provides, it's as say remunerative as advertising is. There are a lot of say confusions in the industry also, that PR is less rewarding and advertising is more. They both are at par, and again, for the people who are talented and for the people who are who excel in their work, money is not a problem. Only thing is that one will have to, again, I'll keep stressing the same point, you will have to find where your heart lies, what makes you do, which makes you happiest. What is that work, what is that job that makes you happiest? Once you are happiest doing it, you will put your 100% into it, and automatically you will excel, and automatically the money will follow. Like the film 3 Idiots said, that you have to chase excellence, monies will follow, which is always true.
Now there are different tools to find out which way will be better for the students. So do the management institute help in guiding the students in this way or not?
Some of them, yes. See, one very effective tool these days with management institutes, especially the leading ones, in a couple of institutes where I teach, where we have instituted that also, is that making students work on live projects with different kinds of organizations. Now these live projects are very short term in duration. It could range between say 1 week to say 1 month or 6 weeks or 2 months. But these live projects are for say that require about a couple of hours a day's work, 2 to 4 hours a day, depending upon, because it shouldn't disturb a student's academic schedule also of his classes of his various subjects that he learns. But these live projects, they give him the opportunity to actually experience, feel what that organization, like for example, one live project could be say with a newspaper. So there the students go, say, twice a week, say they work for, say, 2:30 to 6:30 with them. They give them some work to do, different departments. Sometimes they're attached with some, say, space selling executive or manager. They go along with him, they see how he does work. So they get exposure, what that work involves and that environment of a newspaper office. Next month they'll be working for a bank. Third month they could be working for an insurance company. Fourth month they go and do a live projects with, say, any other organization, say stockbroker or whatever. There are n number of options, and more live projects they do, and then they start getting the hang of it in terms of, okay, this is what this industry is all about. See, one is that knowing from the people what this industry is all about, other is actually experiencing it for few days to yourself, and then they start the process of either selection or elimination. The selection process is that where they say, okay, I have done these 6 live projects in 2 years. This is the one about what I want. And sometimes the selection of the process of elimination also starts, that if he has done 4 projects with 4 different companies, 4 different industries, and after those 4 experiences, he say, okay, these 4 I definitely want, I don't want. So at least those things are removed from their mind, and then he focuses on the next thing. Okay, now what is available to me? So through the elimination process, he has come down to a smaller set of careers to choose from, which helps him move forward towards where his heart lies.
And much talked about the creativity in nowadays in all arenas, say PR, ad agency, anywhere. So creativity, as it's that can be generated, it's inborn. How can creativity be channelized for a particular, a specific career?
You see, I firmly believe, being in this industry for over 2 decades now, I firmly believe that every single individual in the world has immense amount of creativity in him or her. It's only a matter of who brings it forward, who brings it forth and exploits that for his benefit or her benefit. Now, my personal experience is that 99% people actually do not bring their creativity out of them for the benefit of themselves and for the benefit of the society as well. The one thing which holds a lot of people back is the fear of failure. Now, that is something which each one of us will have to overcome ourselves. Now, there are different institutions, there are different academies which allow you to bring out your, they teach you through short-term or long-term courses to bring out your creativity out in the open by conquering your fear of failure. Now, I also teach in one of those, some of those academies, where what we say is that, what I tell students in the very first lecture, in the very first, first 2 sentences, that we need not worry about failure, because more than each one of us in the whole world, irrespective, without any exception, whether it's, the most successful person in the world or it is the most failed person in the world, each one of us, without exception, fails 70% of the time that we make any effort, whether it's professionally, socially or personally. So when the failure is an inherent or say integral part of our life, why ignore it, or why be afraid of it? Let's accept that we fail 70% of the time. Nobody, even the most successful person, actually fails 70% of the time. It is only the 30% of the time the people who succeed, they make it to the top. So that fear raises that 70% failure even to the extent of 99% also. So first thing is to remove the fear of failure and then start experimenting. Allow your creative juices to flow in your mind, in your heart, and bring them out in the open. And let people laugh. See, this is another thing also. Fear of failure also makes people laugh at you. Now, therefore, that also works as a deterrent for people to, express their, views or creative ideas. They think the people will think that, so-and-so is mad and they will laugh at it. Let it be. Let it be. Because they are going to laugh anyway. So, if all these film stars or successful people had they bothered about people, because nobody becomes perfect on the day one. Even say if you were to talk about any cricketer, whether it's Sachin Tendulkar or Gavaskar or whatever, they have not started hitting centuries from the day when they touch the bat. They must have been bowled, on the first ball many times in the beginning of their, training career, or they must have been, caught at 0 many times in the beginning of the career. They never bothered. Who's laughing at, they're getting out at 0, or they are, not been, before lifting the bat they're out. The stumps are broken. They're not bothered. They went on practicing, went on perfecting their art, and one day they perfected. Had they bothered about people laughing around and looking at them, hey, he's getting out at 0, he's run out, they wouldn't have reached where they have reached.
Sometimes a sense of deja vu, sometimes a sense of dejection comes. So how does it affect the creativity?
See, again, as I just explained that also, that you have to forget about the fear of failure, you have to forget about people laughing, you do not have to allow, as in one of my slides I covered that also, you do not have to allow anything to detract you from your path. Even yourself, don't allow your own mind to, overburden your, resolve to move on to a path to achieve your goal. Not easy, it's easier said than done, not easy, but it's not impossible either. It is difficult, but not impossible.
So well, friends, as Mr. Rohan Ubriani said, that if you have charted out on your path, so nothing should detract you. You should go ahead with your determination, and without being afraid of failures, you should move firmly. With this word, we would like to end the lecture here, and I thank all of you for watching the lecture, and on your behalf I thank Mr. Rohan Ubriani for giving such a wonderful lecture. Thank you very much.